That is good. I'll keep on singing. No, it's my birthday. You have to. Last tip.
Hooray!
Yay! Hi everyone, welcome to the very first show of Crazy Guy Kurt Cooks. I'm Crazy Guy Kurt, aka Kurt Johnson, and this is my kitchen and my home, and I'm opening up this space to invite you guys in and share a little bit of my passion as an amateur home cook. And for the very first thing I'm going to do is a Mamofoko milk bar birthday cake. Because it's my birthday, I've just turned 40. It's my birthday week still. I turned 40 a couple of days ago. So I'm going to start and show you the very first part of this cake. So this cake is a fantastic cake. Christina Tosi is the owner and creator of this cake, and I love how her philosophy on baking, and it's all fun and fantastic. So the very first thing I'm going to do is show you her cake. This cake is in 4 parts. And this is the very first part, which is the birthday cake layer. So I'm going to start and do that. So why don't we get right into it? What we want to do to start off with is just whisk all our dry ingredients together in a bowl. Your cake flour, baking powder and salt. Just give it a good whisk, because honestly ain't nobody got time to get lumps in their cake. To another bowl we're going to add the oil, buttermilk and vanilla essence. No reason to mix these together, just make sure they're incorporated into the bowl. We then set both of these bowls aside to be used later. We then move on to the creaming of the sugars with the butter. So to our stand mixer we're going to take the white and brown sugar, the butter and the margarine. And here what you want to do is just beat it for 2 to 3 minutes until it's all fully incorporated. When adding the eggs, do it one at a time, making sure that it's completely incorporated between each mix. And when all 3 eggs are added, you're going to beat it for 2 to 3 minutes, just making sure that it's all further mixed together. After a quick scrape down, slowly stream in the buttermilk, oil and vanilla essence into the stand mixer. Beat the mixture for 4 to 6 minutes until it's doubled in size of the original batter. Finally, we add the dry ingredients. Please do not overmix here. Once the flour and sprinkles are added, just mix for 45 to 60 seconds, making sure that everything is fully incorporated. But if you overmix, you're going to get a very tough cake. We've now finished the batter. I'm pouring the batter into a baking sheet I've greased and lined with baking paper. The sheet I'm using is about 25 by 36 centimeters big. Once we've smoothed out the top, we obviously are going to add more sprinkles and then pop it into a 175 degrees Celsius oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. That is layer 1 done. And that is what your cake should look like once it's out of the oven. A nice golden brown color, and those sprinkles just pop in that mixture. And now step 2 of the cake is the birthday cake frosting. And what we're going to do is start off with our butters. The frosting here is done in just 3 easy steps. 1. We beat the butter, margarine and cream cheese into the stand mixer for 2 to 3 minutes on medium-high heat. It's important to remember to scrape down between every step. 2. We very slowly add the glucose and clear vanilla essence to the mixture. We crank that puppy on high and beat for 2 to 3 minutes. And finally, number 3, when the mixture is silky smooth, we add the icing sugar, citric acid, baking powder and salt. Here we beat for another 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. We're done with the frosting. So part 3 is the birthday cake crumb, and these are all the little chunky crispy pieces that go into the layers of the cake. So There's a layer of cake, then there's some frosting, crumb frosting, and then we top some crumbs on the top. This I think is one of the things that makes Christina's cakes really exciting, because it's not just plain, there's textures and there's lovely flavors in it. So this is one of the layers that we make now to add some flavor and texture. And what we're going to do to start off, we take our sugar, we take our flour, the brown sugar as well, the salt, as well as the baking powder and the sprinkles, and we add that into the bowl. Once all of that is mixed on low speed, we're going to add the oil and vanilla essence into that mix, and now we're going to mix it until the crumbs start to form. So you'll get some small and big crumbs. The idea here is to get different sizes to put in between the layer cakes. I didn't get the sizes I wanted, so I clumped together some of the crumbs to make some bigger balls, and this is especially to decorate the cake on top. Once you're happy with that, you're going to bake in an oven for 150 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes. Just check on it. I baked mine for extra 3 minutes just to get it extra crispy. The fourth part of the cake and the last part that we do before assembly is the cake soak, birthday cake soak, and that's the easiest part. You literally take a teaspoon of vanilla extract, add it to some milk, stir that in, and that's your milk soak. Easy as pie. So the final step just before assembly of the cake is we turn the cake over that we just baked to a piece of parchment paper. And what we're going to do now, and we're going to take a ring mold, and basically we are going to cut out the bits of the cake that we need. So we're going to make 2 full pieces, and then basically we cut out the balance of cake, and out of the leftover pieces we're going to make 3 pieces of cake. So you'll see we've got 1, 2, and then these are the pieces at the bottom that we make we take these scrap pieces of cake, and we will take these to make the bottom layer of the cake, and which we'll show you now in assembly. Okay, and now for the final part of this arduous process, which is the layering and assembly of the cake. And as the maker of cake, you obviously need to test your wares. Makes so good. Not just the cake. So we're going to put the cake together. So we start off by laying transparency foam, or what they call acetate paper, inside of the cake. So normally these would come as one long strip, but I couldn't find any, so I just took transparency paper, which were normal transparency paper, and cut it in half and put it into the cake. So the bottom layer we start off with these little offcut sections here, and we're going to layer that into the cake. And then what we do is we play a little Tetris and make the cake little pieces. You fill it in to the gaps. You want to make sure that it's nice and tightly packed in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a little milk soak and just basically moisturize the cake. And then we've got this little spoon here, and this little spoon I used mind tricks to bend it. But on a serious note, this is actually used because you're working in the cake ring. And Christina Tosi, I saw this one night on a Jimmy Fallon show where she was making a cake, and basically what you do is you spoon the cake in like this, and you use the back of the cake spoon to, if it comes off, to basically smooth out the frosting. And then we're going to take some of our crumble, and you're going to take about a third of your crumble, layer that into the cake. And this adds a nice, amazing, crunchy texture to the cake. Okay, we take a little bit more frosting. Take the back of our spoon again. Make sure we just top that layer up a bit. There we go. And the last piece of cake we put in, press that down, some cake soak, just the final layer of cake, and your final layer of frosting, which we're going to put onto the cake. Take off my spoon, just mix it up in some water so we get that nice smooth layer here. So I've just taken my little mini palette knife and smoothed the edges, because obviously the back of the spoon's not going to do that. And once that is smooth enough, I take the crumb and we add it to the outside of the cake. And here you can decorate it in any way that you'd like. I like to put my crumbs on the outside of the cake. And when I'm happy with the placement of all the crumbs, we add again some more sprinkles, because this is a birthday cake and it's taking us back to our childhood with sprinkles. So it's the next morning and we have just frozen the cake for 12 hours overnight for it to set. And now it's the great unveiling that's happening. So what we're going to do now is basically lift off the, loosen the ring mold. So this one I use is an adjustable one. We'll just place that to the side. And now we're going to unwrap the acetate paper from the side of the cake. And there's going to be some sprinkles that fall off. And that right there is the birthday cake. This is a little fun and exciting cake. There we go. As you can see, there it is. And now for the best part of the cake is the cutting and the eating. And so this draws to a close my first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stay tuned for more episodes, and leave your comments in the section below if you have any advice or guidance for me on how to do this, because I am very new to this, so I don't know. So here we go. What you do to cut the cake, you take some hot water, dip the knife in there and just wipe the hot water off. It makes cutting the cake a lot easier. We just cut it gently. Do the same for the other side. Oh, we're gonna pick up that crumb now, put it back on nicely. And there we go. And now for the eating. And I'm going to insist my wife sings happy birthday to me while I eat the cake. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Christina Tosi, you are a legend. That is good. I'll keep on singing. No, it's my birthday. You have to. Last tip.
Hooray!
Yay! Thank you guys for joining me, and enjoy your cake. Bye-bye.